Brought to you by the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs on Wednesday, September 1st at 19 hours on NCN, HJTV, E-Networks, TVG, NTN 69, MTV 65, and the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs Facebook page, with performances by the Mainstay, Batavia, and Pakuri cultural groups, the Riverside Angels, the Couchman family, Brandon Harding, the Mighty Pakuri, Beanick, Daniela Arajo, and Andy Penyu, all backed by the Calibro Band and the Castro Brothers. Let's celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month 2021 under the theme, Maintaining Our Traditional Integrity, Celebrating Our Cultural Identity, on Wednesday, September 1st at 19 hours. Don't you miss it.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening, welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. To date, Guyana has discovered over 9 billion barrels of oil-equivalent resources in the Stabroek Block. More significant resources are poised to be unlocked as ExxonMobil continues to drill more holes in the offshore concession. Complementing its rush to find more crude is its desire to monetize its discoveries just as quickly as possible. In this decade alone, the American oil giant intends to bring into operation 10 oil ships. But while the rush to find more oil and having several projects pumping oil as quickly as possible is beneficial for its investors and shareholders, one international expert is cautioning Guyana to consider the risks that lie in going at such a fast pace. Chatham House Associate Fellow and respected industry expert Dr. Valerie Marcel said Guyana ought to consider how capable it is in meeting all the needs that come with developing such massive resources. In this regard, Dr. Marcel said the new oil producer ought to consider whether it has the regulatory and legislative capacity, as well as the skill sets required to really get maximum value from its resources while ensuring it is prudently exploited. And in other news, the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal has moved to the High Court over the 3 Mettler-Toledo weight-in motion scales that the former government had purchased in 2016 but was never delivered. The AG sued former Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson, his permanent secretary Balraj Balaram, and his engineer manager Lawrence Mentes. According to the document, the AG is suing Patterson, Balaram, and Mentes for $50 million for loss and damage suffered as a result of the misfeasance in public office, in excess of $50 million for loss and damage suffered as a result of negligence to the state, and $50 million for loss and damage suffered as a result of the misuse, misapplication, and improper disposal of public sums of money. And in other news, during the recently held Offshore Technology Conference in Houston, Texas, Meyer Marine Services and Hargrove EPC signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Guyana's Geico Construction Services. The objective of the Memorandum of Understanding is to allow for collaboration on the development of projects in Guyana. It is understood that this strategic partnership will enable the transfer of skills and technology for the development of the Guyanese workforce in the growing oil and gas sector. And moving on, a bandit was on Thursday shot to his right foot after he reportedly pulled a knife on a police officer who was trying to arrest him for attempting to snatch a woman's cell phone. Police have identified him as 25-year-old Akeem Martin of Half Mile, Wismar, Linden. Martin was shot around 16:30 along South Road, Georgetown. According to a police report, 2 ranks were patrolling on their motorcycles along the Kroll Street and saw a man attempting to relieve a woman of her phone. They rode up to intervene, and upon seeing them, the bandit aborted his mission and tried to escape. Witnesses disclosed that the cops eventually cornered him in a yard. Police reported that as the rank was about to apprehend him, a scuffle ensued during which he pulled out a knife and attempted to stab the officer. This reportedly forced the cop to retaliate by shooting the bandit to his right foot. In other news, alleged Ponzi scheme operator Atika Ishmael, the wife of Cuban national Yuri Garcia Dominguez, was yesterday placed before a city magistrate and charged for allegedly falsifying a positive COVID-19 test result. Ishmael made her appearance in the Georgetown Magistrates Courts before Senior Magistrate Leron Daly in the company of her lawyer Darren Wade. She was charged with conspiracy to commit a felony. Senior Magistrate Daly placed her on $200,000 bail for the offense, and the matter was adjourned to September 10th. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that Brian Luke, who was arrested on Monday for allegedly raping and robbing a 64-year-old woman, was on Thursday remanded to prison after he appeared at the Reliance Magistrates Court. 47-year-old Luke of Albion High Reef, Berbice, made his first court appearance before Magistrate Rabindranath Singh, where he was not required to plead to the charge of rape. It was reported that on August 16th last in Region 6, the man allegedly committed the act and robbed the woman of $20,000. Police reports further state that on the same day of the incident, Luke was arrested at his residence where some of the cash was discovered. After he was remanded on Thursday, Magistrate Singh adjourned the matter to September 14th. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow.